This is Flirty, Dirty, and Bookish.
Welcome to the dark side.
Listen if you dare.
Welcome back to Scotland, everybody! What? Oh my god, I don't know what that was. I'm so sorry. That wasn't an accident of any kind. It was just chaotic. Very much like the book we're discussing today, and that is Voracious, the second book in the Edge of Darkness trilogy, and our third book in the Rivers universe. This book is soul crushing. I still love it, but it crushes your soul to bits. There's so many like emotions and tear-jerking moments and moments where you're like almost like this book has to be over, nothing else can possibly happen, and then the next thing something else is going on, and it's a lot, and I literally feel like I'm gonna cry talking about it because it's just so much. Like, yes, we talked in our last episode, we did discuss everything with Kate and Stacey and, being pregnant and her losing the baby and the baby being because of Chris and the whole thing with Chris being, her and Jason and that whole thing also being because of Chris. And so we discussed that all last episodes. We probably won't talk about it much this episode because we've already talked about it.
But you see it more in depth in this one.
It actually, you don't know any of that when you're reading Insatiable. We only did because we've obviously already read it.
Well, you get a decent idea.
You can put two in, but you didn't get
it's not laid out like it is.
Yeah. The actuality of it telling you and you seeing those moments is in Voracious. So those things actually happen in this book. So you're dealing with all of that. And then you're dealing with like, Kate and Stacey are separated, obviously, at the end of Insatiable. She's forced to get on that plane, and he is stuck there and is obviously captured by Bernadette. And the book...
He ain't stuck alone, unfortunately.
No, but the book picks up with him. Well, he is stuck alone for, like, the entire beginning of... he's stuck alone when he's kidnapped that time. But... so it's like, it literally picks up with Stacey on the plane. Like, you're starting right back there again, and then just, you think things can't possibly get worse, and then something always happens, and then there's so many moments of, like, relief, like, you feel relief, like, oh, this must be the moment that this one issue is at least dealt with, and then you read 2 more pages, and that issue has not been dealt with. If anything, those issues become worse. For example, all I'm thinking about is when Chris almost killed a man and Chris did kill a man and almost killed her, and she gets to the police, and you're like, finally, she's going to get help. She's going to tell someone, and it's Chris's ex-girlfriend's brother, and he knows Chris is this lovely, sweet guy, and of course he would never do something like that. She must be on drugs. She must be crazy. Chris must be telling the truth when he says that this never happened. And Chris is already...
or do you think he's corrupt? Because I got the vibe he was corrupt.
I mean, maybe, but she walked in already. The first thing she said was her name, and then he would already, like, kind of have ringing bells of the name, and then the next thing he says, okay, well, where is this body, blah, 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 blah. Tells where the body is. Body's not there because Chris has already moved dead. So now that's another thing to pit against her, and then he's like, well, who attacked you? Who did this? She's like, Chris Fields, my stepbrother. He stopped listening to everything she was saying, and he was just like, oh, Chris would never do this. Like, you know what? You don't know who a person is just because they dated your sister. Well,
exactly.
Like, you really don't. And also, if you asked your sister broke up with him because she knew he was in love with his stepsister, who was way too young for him. And she was aware of this, and that's why she ended it. And
didn't he end up making her, like, didn't he end up, like, calling her Stacey or something like that?
And that's how she found out, and she broke up with him or something like that. But, and so he was, if that cop had called his sister, she probably would have been like, you know what, I believe Chris probably would do this to her. He probably would do this, but he didn't, and he was just that male that was like, oh, I know this guy, there's no way he could do something like this, and then lets him get away with it because I know him and he's sweet and would never. And then you're just like, she was at the cops. She was so close. Like, you think she's finally done it. And you're like, okay, well, Barry must, be tracking Chris. Barry must be able to save her from this. And it's days later that we see Barry again. And Barry is outside of her dance studio. And you're like, okay, this is the moment. This is the moment I'm going to get relief. Barry's going to take it from Chris right now. Nope. Barry, in fact, now thinks this is, yes, her abuser, but thinks that it is her boyfriend. So then what happens? Chris takes her to this grand party for crazy, abusive rich people, who like to make women be on drugs and dance on these poles in front of people and hurt women and do all these things. And you're like, and this whole time, every time you think you're gonna get relief, nothing,
oh my
right?
God, Kate and Barry are gonna get her out of there.
Oh. Well, they walk into this party. Obviously, you're kind of already thinking, oh, Bernadette, maybe she could be there because this is her scene, right? Well, she is. But then, so you see Kate and Kate's there, but the problem is Kate's also with Archie and Bernadette and Archie's daughter, Cassie. So you're like, well, she can't go running up to him because Bernadette wants her dead. So, like, what do you can't. So then there was that relief, and you're like, and you also know she saw the back of Kate. Kate has not seen her, and she's. But she does know Barry's there. So, whatever. So that's the little bit of relief you have. And then she goes to this table or whatever, and you're just waiting. Come on, come on. And you're like, think you get relief for a second because Chris's friends, that these are, well, half of them, not all of them were there, but like some of the guys from the night that, Chris and his friends raped her and Jason are there.
Yeah.
And they want to buy her again. They want to use her again. They want to use her again. And you get relief for a second. Because all of a sudden, Chris has become this weird possessive guy. And he's like, you know what? No, I won't sell her. I don't want to. I'm not sharing. No amount of money will make me sell her. And you're just like, you know what, Chris? I hate you so much. But in this moment, yes, get her out of there. Mm-hmm. Get her out of there. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I'd rather be with one devil than 6 devils. Let's go.
Yeah.
And then his friends start blackmailing him and offering him insane amounts of money.
And he's a fucking coward. It's like, here you go. Okay, yeah, sure. But then he goes and gives Stacey a knife. So then you're like, oh.
Well, wait, hold on. Okay. Even prior to giving the knife. So they all say to buy her. But he's like, let's have, like, some fun with her first. Like, I think he was trying to buy them time for him to come up with something. He didn't, but I think he was trying. So Stacey starts dancing on this pole. Well, the guys made the mistake of asking her, what song do you want to play? Because at this point, Kate's in the room, and you're just feeling this sense of relief, like, oh yes, it will be stopped now. Everything will be okay. And so she starts dancing to their song, and you're thinking, oh yeah, Kate's gonna storm right over, and he's gonna grab her off there, and everything's gonna be... No, it's not.
No, because Barry is like, you cannot do that.
Do not.
Yeah.
We're going to draw more attention. It's going to make it way worse.
Yeah. So, but at this point, you're in her head. You don't know for sure that Kate has seen this. We still don't know if Kate knows for sure she's there. Then her and Kate make eye contact. Betty doesn't do anything. You're like, what's going to happen? Because we also know that Kate doesn't fully know about Chris. He doesn't fully know what's going on. So there's a chance that Kate could, and this is just what you're thinking when you're reading it.
Barry told Kate that she has a boyfriend.
Yes. So in this
Kate's
moment,
like, she's a fucking boyfriend now?
Yeah. So in this moment, you're kind of thinking, is he going to do something? Because what if he thinks whoever these evils are is less than the chance of Bernadette seeing him help her and noticing she's there. So you're kind of like, is he gonna do something? Is he gonna help her? And you don't know. You're like, not sure what's going to happen, And then, so you're just like, okay, waiting. And then Chris gives her a knife. And you think, oh, maybe he's gonna, no. Maybe he's gonna help her maybe he's gonna help. No, he just gave her the knife just in case she wanted to help herself. But he's not physically going to go. Chris then abandons the scene of the crime.
Just fucks
He's gone. Gone like the wind, just leaves her there. He left her there. How did we go from being possessive, psychotic to...
I don't understand. Chris is such a dichotomy of a human being. I love her. I need her. She's mine, but all of my friends can also have her.
But then they couldn't have her.
But now they can't have you, and now you need to kill them because I can't do it because I'm a fucking pussy. Here's a
And it's
knife to
like,
defend yourself if you want to.
it's like, you
What?
don't make any sense. And also, I'm not letting her out of my sight, blah, blah, blah. But then he abandons the scene of the crime, knowing that if she does commit murder and kills these men, she could get away. Like, from him, too. If he just abandons the place, how is he gonna get her? So it's like, where is your thought process?
Maybe he thought
He
she'd
doesn't
kill him.
have one. For such a smart guy that he can hack into almost anything and make them literal ghosts to the world, he's
He's
not
fucking
so
stupid.
great at the planning process of anything.
No.
His if Chris was in a fight or flight situation, he'd fight for about 2 seconds and then he'd flight. The only time he knows how to fight is when it's against a girl that's like half his size. It's the only time Chris knows how to fight. The rest of the time, he's always like and runs away, like the road runner. Like that's Chris, you know, just like run away.
Yes.
But
he's a pussy. He runs away from every hard.
Yeah.
He runs away from every hard thing. Yeah. The only hard thing in his life is trying to get Stacey to love him.
Yeah. So then your relief goes out the window, and you're like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Then we don't even see what happens with Stacey because now the chapter is flipped to Cade and Barry, and no, it doesn't pick up right where we left off. We have to go back so we can know what Cade was thinking while she was dancing and all of this stuff. And so you go through that again, and you're like, Barry's telling him, oh, you can't blah blah blah, and it's like at this point, you're just like, get to where we're supposed to be now because I don't care what's going through your head. I already know you don't go up to her. Let's just get to the point. And so we finally get there, and obviously she's walked away with these men now, and now Cade is like thinking that one of the clients has called and wants to have sex with him and it's telling Bernadette this, and you're like, okay, Cade is gonna save the day. What I wasn't expecting when I read this the first time is that when Cade gets up there, they're already all dead. And not just Stacey. Like she has massacred them all, and then she has this like whole a Cade mental breakdown. She has like a whole mental breakdown in the bathroom. Cade's holding her. She's vomiting, freaking out. Isn't sure. Well,
you also have to think too, like how she reacted when Cade killed all of those people insatiable. Like she was in fight or flight and she fought.
But also, Stacey was sober for all those types of Cade. Maybe she had a few drinks or whatever, but she was never fully under the influence. Now she's under the influence of whatever Chris has put her on, which is why she's like not sure Cade's there and doesn't sure what's happening.
Yeah. No, I mean like to kill these people, right? Like
yeah.
She was so against Cade doing all these things and hurting people and all like this. She is a good person at her core.
She only did it to save herself.
Exactly.
And also these people deserved it.
For sure. But still, the guy that they killed in the club deserved it. Like, whatever.
I mean, she was on board when she knew. But she's not on board with Cade basically selling himself is what the thing. She's okay with the people Cade kills because Cade kills awful people. But she's not okay with the fact that he's killing because he's losing a part of himself doing it because it's not something the Cade she fell in love with would do. This isn't the Cade she knows. This is a new version of Cade. And it just shows how strong their love is that neither of them are the same person they were when they fell in love.
No.
At all. And, like, Cade is, like, a completely different person. And he even says so himself. And actually, I think the line where he says that himself breaks my heart because of the way he says it. And it's because he quite literally says, because they were going to have a baby girl or whatever. And his line saying that he's changed is, I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm going to pull it up so I don't get this wrong because this line is so important. I have it next to me. I knew this might happen. Look at me now, my little princess. Daddy's gone and he's never coming back. The way that line gives, mommy's going, but mommy has to put daddy out of his misery now. Like, the fact that Tobias basically said that to Cade and Luciella when they were in the womb, and now Cade is saying that to his angel baby. It is so depressing. It's so sad. It's devastating that Tobias wanted so much for his kids not to experience the things he did. But Cade is experiencing these things that his dad experienced that Tobias never wanted him to experience. But Cade is experiencing on a whole new level. Tobias knew his kids were safe and inside of Arya and that they would be born and that she would make sure they had a happy life. Cade is talking to the daughter that he's already lost, and at this point knows that he's lost her because Stacey was being abused at home. Like, Cade has been taken by these people and is being forced to do these things where Tobias went off his meds and he killed the amount of people Cade probably killed in the first 2 months of being with Bernadette. And it's like, just like Tobias tried to do in his own fucked up way. Like, none of the ways Tobias went about anything were correct, but in his own fucked up way, he was trying to keep any of this from happening. He wanted Cade and Lucielle to either have a normal life or, as fucked up as it is, no life at all. Like, he did not want this for his kids at all. It was either, you're not going to be born, or I'm going to make sure this is in your life.
On a way worse level.
Yeah. And then you like, but then you're seeing Tobias knowing this is happening and he can't do anything about it, and he just feels so useless. And he's only staying in prison because this is Tobias we're talking about. If he wanted to escape, he'd find a way.
And he's like calling. He talks to Stacey all the time.
And then he knows about Chris, so he's constantly talking to her because he's worried about her, and he can't do anything. And he knows, well, in the beginning of, like, all this, he knew he was the only one who knew about Chris. And so he's, like, all these things. And then Bernadette hasn't put in solitary confinement. Like, this entirety of the beginning of this book, Stacey is trying to call him to let him know that Cade has been taken by Bernadette again. Trying to let him know that Bernadette is now where she exists. Like, trying to let him know all these things. And then everything happens with Chris, and she doesn't even have access to a phone, which, honestly, thank God Tobias was in solitary confinement.
Bernadette didn't know she existed right away.
She knew all of Voracious because Archie had found them at the end of... Or knew somebody existed. Yes. Like, knew... they didn't know what she looked like.
Yeah, they didn't know who she was first. First.
We don't find out until, like, about halfway through, but she probably knew a little before that. But either way, like, knows she exists and is going to try to find her.
Yeah.
And, obviously has the resources to do so. And so you're like... So it's, like, all these things, and honestly, I'm so happy that... Or, not happy, but I am glad that Tobias was in solitary when everything was going on with Chris, and she didn't have her phone, because... who knows what he would have done then, and he would have had even less information than he does later on when he has his full-blown episode because Stacey's not, like, answering. Because, like, we see later on, like, there's, like, you know, the time jump and whatever, and him and Stacey are heavily in contact. And she says, like, if she doesn't answer her phone, his obsessive side takes over, and he'll call and call and call and call and call. And he's not trying to be overbearing, but that side of him's taking over, and he's worried for your safety, so he's not going to stop until you pick up. Yeah. And so if he hadn't have been in solitary confinement and received her voicemails about everything, and she didn't have access to a phone, who knows what would happen, because he would have had no way of tracking Chris down because she hadn't given him that much information at that point.
Yeah.
So, like, who knows what would happen?
Did she even know it was Chris, or...
She knew it was his stepbrother, Chris, because she knew he couldn't do anything about it.
She knew it was her stepbrother, or did she know it was her stepbrother, Chris?
I don't know if she said that his name was Chris, but she said it was her stepbrother, and everyone knows it's not Kyle. Like, she has another stepbrother other people aren't aware of. Tobias knew that. I don't know that she had said his name was Chris, but he knew it wasn't Kyle. So I guess he could have shown, yes, because everyone liked Kyle. She, like, said, like, they don't know about him. Like, people don't know about him. Because people knew about Kyle, because, you know, her and Kyle were actually, like, a brother and sister, and, like, they were fine and whatever. But, so it's just, like, this whole fucking thing, and you're, like, honestly kind of glad that he's been in solitary, because who knows what he would have done. Nobody wants to know, honestly. I don't want to know. It would not have been pretty. At all.
He would have escaped.
And also, they weren't as close then either. So, like, she wouldn't have had the ways of controlling him that she does now. Honestly, the only people in the world that can control Tobias Mitchell are Arya, partially Luciella, because she's his daughter and has him wrapped around her finger.
And we don't really know the insides of their relationship, so probably.
Yet. We'll get there. Yet. And Stacey. And honestly, Barry and his wife's baby, Eva has him completely wrapped around her finger. She's gonna get whatever she wants.
The way that Stacey and Tobias's relationship.
Oh my! You know what?
Like, you're so fucking annoying, and then she even said, a crazy person would call Tobias Mitchell annoying and crazy and all these things, but he doesn't care with me. He just sits there and shrugs and goes,
doesn't flinch. She throws chess pieces at his head, and he's just like, "Yeah, that was immature."
Can I have the bag of chips? Here you go, fucker.
Like, are you gonna eat those? Yeah, like, whatever, you know?
Like, but, like, how, like, this scary man who, if any other person was like, you look like you're in a bad mood, would actually, like, knock your shit.
Kill them? Like, you'd be dead.
And then Stacey goes, calm down, you fucking old man.
Yeah.
And he laughs at it. Like,
I think it's because, and we talked about this in Psychotic Obsession, it's because she reminds me of Lucy, I think. Like, she reminds him of Lucy and kind of what
or just a kid that needs help.
Yeah, someone that needs his protecting, someone that needs his help. And, like, he has, like, such a soft spot for her. And it's, like, and also, but it's not just him either. It's Stacey, because Stacey, she even admits it. She says, my dad died when I was 19. And Luciella's dad has been imprisoned her entire life. But she has a much closer relationship with her dad than I did with mine. And he lived until I was 9. Like, he didn't die when I was young. Like, I was, quite old. And she doesn't have that relationship with him. And, like, Tobias, she, like, even says, she's like, Tobias gives the best hugs. Like, the fact that Tobias is in there hugging her is just, like, so sweet. And she goes and she visits him 2 times a day. She goes in the morning and she goes again at night, and usually they have a movie night. And it's just so cute and sweet. And, like, as pure as something Tobias is involved in can be. Obviously, it is not like all angels and whoo. It's like, a little more fucked. But it's Tobias, so it's as pure as something with Tobias can be. And
I think that, like, Tobias, like, at his core has a little bit of a hero complex.
Oh yeah. He must save everybody.
As much as an evil villain he is a hero. He
wants to be the hero. Even with Arya, when he was being the villain, he wanted to be the hero.
I want to save you from Ewan. I need to save my son. I need to save my daughter. I am going to save Stacey Rhodes. I'm going to do all these things. I'm going to save all these people.
And it's like,
by also slaughtering a lot of people.
Your idea of saving is like, okay, Tobias. But, like, you know what? They're probably watching the Avengers in there, and he's like, look how many people get murdered when they save people. But he's, like, probably not contemplating that they aren't going around slitting the civilians' throats. Buildings are, like, falling on them, and it's completely on accident. But he's probably thinking, look, there are deaths in every battle. Like, it's not my fault. Like, that's totally Tobias sitting there.
We need to go back about a chapter and a half, though. Because prior to getting Tobias and Stacey's core relationship and these funny moments and seeing him with Eva,
you have to witness
the voicemail.
Him with Kate. Oh no, so 2 chapters prior, because I was gonna say, okay, let's do, because we're right here, but his relationship with Cade, I think when you go back to the flashback just before you get to the voicemail, the time jump, no, the flashback just before the time jump, not the flashback before the voicemail. The one where he meets Brent, that one. Where him and Stacey are already done. But, so when that flashback happens, and when you're reading it, you see that moment, because it's been talked about since Insatiable. He hasn't seen his dad for 2 years because they got in a fight. It had to do with Stacey. He made his dad cry. It kind of makes me so sad that Tobias, like, was so upset by this that he cried, because this is Tobias, and, like, he has no emotions, and he cried. Like, it's so sad. But anyway, and so you're like, okay. And so you see this, but you kind of, when you go back, you kind of see that Tobias, I think it's because he saw the way his son was with Stacey. He finally seemed like an actual human and alive and not so closed in on himself. And he was doing things and he was happy and he was excited about things, and something that he had never seen in his son before, which is probably honestly what started his obsession with Stacey. Because he's like, you make my son happy, you make my son happy, you make my son happy. And that's probably what's going through his head. He's like, you're my son's Arya is honestly probably what's going through his obsessive brain.
Yeah.
Because he did see, like this would be me and Arya if I was still on if I had stayed on
That
my
was
medication and
normal.
I had a, yeah,
Yeah.
or like at least the level of normal my son is, and I had a
At that
dad
time.
like me. And
Yes.
also Cade, a lot of Cade, we talked about this before, is because Tobias went through these things and he was able to see it in Cade so early and stop things from happening and tell him things that were, although sometimes he did say, "Oh, that's normal," and it wasn't, but it was still okay. You're like,
Yes, son, it's completely normal to have to
completely
watch her at
obsessed over
every
a
moment,
person.
at every time, and be completely obsessive. That's
That's
fine.
normal. That's fine. Don't worry about that. No, you don't need to tell your therapist. That's normal. Like, there was just things like that he did, but he always made sure, like, if Cade seemed like he was going off the rails, he would say something to Arya and he would have a conversation with Cade. And because Cade had those things, he was able to have a more normal
He
relationship
had
with
stability.
Stacey. But also, his dad had said to him, "You need to be completely honest with Stacey and tell her how you're feeling all the time, and tell her this and tell her that." Because one of the biggest faults with Arya and Tobias was Tobias just not being upfront. And because of Arya's profession, she could have made sure he was staying on his meds and doing all these things. So, he did learn from his mistakes. As much as some of them he still thinks are kind of normal.
Mm-hmm.
But he did learn from them enough to be able to stop his son from making those mistakes.
Yeah.
And but he's thinking, he's like, this is, or probably, obviously we don't know this, we're not in Tobias's head, but I can only assume that he was probably thinking Stacey Arya. Like Stacey is Arya for Cade.
Yes.
And to him that would mean you must be protected at all costs. And like you must be protected at all costs is probably what's going through his head. And so I think when you see the flashback of when Cade went there and he found out about the cheating with the Jason thing and everything, cheating. But when it
Yeah.
just whatever, and he finds out because obviously that is what Cade thought would happen.
Yeah.
Tobias flat out says to him, actually, first they make rules because Tobias thought it would help his son get his emotions out to be able to talk about it.
Well, and to like focus on things. So like when Kate is spiraling, he goes, "Tell me three things that you see. Tell me this.
Yeah,
What's your favorite movie? Whatever." To get you
which Cade,
focused
yeah,
back into the present and regulate your emotions.
yeah, and which is a very common thing for people with any kind of, if someone is actually having a panic attack, it's a great way to calm them down. Is to point out things that either they like, if that's something that distracts them, or things that are going around in their surroundings, because sometimes that's
Yeah.
easier for
Say
someone than
some
having to
one thing
pull
you smell, one
thoughts.
thing you see, one thing you hear,
Yeah,
one thing you feel. Yeah.
yeah. So Tobias does that with Cade. But so he did this rule thing. And honestly, this part was a little bit funny. Cade writes his rules. We've known what his rules are from Insatiable, and it's a whole
Right
list.
there.
Yes. I actually have them right here as well in this thing. Actually, let's show them, everybody. Let's show. If you guys are watching, you guys can see this. I should have mine on me, but can you show yours?
It's
Because I don't know where mine is.
yeah, it's this.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, it's literally his rules. Would
Says
you like to
rule
read them
one,
out?
stay away from your toxic in all capitals ex-girlfriend. Rule two, don't underlined, unblock her number. Rule three, if you're both in the same room, don't fucking look at her. It's a trap, which is circled.
A trap. Okay, guys.
She's a witch all of a sudden. Rule number four, under no capitals circumstances will you have any sexual interactions with her in all capitals exclamation mark. Rule number five, never forgive Stacey Rhodes, underlined and bolded.
Well, he breaks those all in the first book, so.
Yes.
But anyway, so he has him write down those rules, and this little part was funny before we get to the depressing. This part was funny. So he writes down his rules, and he says, "My dad had me write out these rules." And then he says, "But in all fairness, he doesn't agree with most of them." So you already know that Tobias isn't, on board with some of those rules, and you're like,
which is
okay,
crazy.
I am kind of
Because
curious which rules.
If this was Ewan, he'd be like, write five more.
Yeah. But like you're like not 100% sure. You're like you're probably like, wait, which rules is Tobias not okay with? Because it's Tobias, and you're like,
probably the don't look at her one, because even to Tobias Mitchell, I think that would be crazy.
That's crazy.
The under honestly probably also this
The
one
sex.
too. Yeah, under no circumstances with any sexual interactions.
He probably thinks it's crazy.
Tobias is like, dude, you gotta get your dick wet from the one person you want to get your dick wet from.
Yeah, and I also think he's not okay with the forgiveness rule. Because of what he says next to his son.
Yes.
I think that was the rule that probably he was the most
because if you think of it, if he didn't agree with that, if he was like, yeah, don't ever forgive her, he is a hypocrite because Arya should have never forgiven him.
Yes. And I think he knows that there can be like different circumstances because of what their conversation was after this. And this is the sad one. This brings me to tears when I read it. And that is that he then says, how do you feel? And he says, I hate her. I fucking hate her. And he's like, no, you don't. You're just mad at her. Like, you don't hate her. You're just mad at her. And Kate's like, no, I fucking do. Did you not hear what I said? She fucked Jason. And he's like, and this is Tobias speaking, but there could have, like, are you sure? Like, people don't just change overnight. Like, what were the circumstances? What did she say? And he goes, I didn't want to fucking listen to a word that came out of her mouth. He goes, but you have to listen to her because you're not sure of what happened. People don't just change like that. And this is the most sensible Tobias has ever been. Well, Tobias was the only one thinking.
Because if Tobias had talked to Arya when she went over to see Jason at Ewan's, he would have known she didn't sleep with Ewan. He jumped to conclusions from what he saw.
Yeah. And things went cray. Yeah.
Everything happened.
Yeah, so he's like, people don't just change overnight. You need to check in, like, what are you sure? And, and Cade's like, no. And then Cade goes off. Who are you to say this to me? How do you have cheek? It's something they say in Scotland. To sit here and tell me this when all the things you did to my mom, you're a waste of oxygen, and just goes on. And then he's like, Mom deserved better. And he goes, and he's crying. He goes, he's like, I know she did. Like, I know. And then Kate's like, yeah, fuck you. And he goes, son, please. And then Kate just storms out. And Tobias is crying. And you're just like, Tobias, you're not a waste of oxygen. Please don't think that. Like, but like, there was a time in Tobias's life where he probably would have taken that and offed himself.
Yeah.
Like, if for some reason him and Arya hadn't been in contact at the time, he probably would have offed himself.
No, like, I don't necessarily think it would have gone that far because I think he knows his son and he knows his son is grieving, angry at the world, angry at his family, angry at Stacey. Like, he probably, I think now self-actualized Tobias.
Yeah.
Can see that because he continued to want to have a relationship with his son after.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, yeah. So I think that's where, like, what I was trying to say by talking about that moment was that I do think that his need to, like, protect Stacey kind of formed back then.
Yes.
Because he could see what his son was like with Stacey and what his son was like without Stacey. So in his weird mind space, that would mean protect Stacey at all costs to keep Cade normal. Yes. Like that, right? Yes. Like in his headspace, that's how it would work. Prior to that chapter, and this is what we mean by this book is just no relief. There's no breathers. There's no nothing. Prior to that was the voicemail. That is probably one of the most, especially now that this book is becoming popular, it's probably one of the most talked about things in dark romance. Like, that voicemail is horrible. Horrible. It's
heart-wrenching.
Horrible. Morgan got to it the other day and she literally texted, am I allowed to skip the voicemail? And we're like, no.
I've already read it. I know what it is. I hear it all the time on TikTok. But I was
like, you need to reread it. No. I was like, I reread it.
And the problem is I'm not just reading this book. I am immersive reading this entire
Yeah, so she's listening to it and reading it.
And it's like, I was Kate and I was dying on the ground trying to call my girlfriend and tell her to run because these evil people are coming to get her.
You know what? That wasn't even the worst part of the voicemail. The worst part of the voicemail is him apologizing because the reason he's dying is because he was driving too fast and hit a tree because he just watched the video and just found out what really happened and that she was raped and that her and Jason did not try to have
she was
sex
raped by what? 3 men, her stepbrother, and then Jason?
7. Chris had 7 friends there. Only the 3 guys were at the place later on.
Right. Yeah, 7 men, Chris, and then got put on top of Jason, who the only fucking time in his life is wearing Cade's shirt, Cade's aftershave, and Cade's cologne. And she's drugged. Obviously, she's gonna think it's fucking Cade when she can't see.
And he's in his own bed, so she probably just smells like Gianna because they're in his own bed, right? Yeah. So, like, things are going around. So it's just like, they didn't mean to do anything that it was not meant to happen. And I think the grossest part about when we were watching that video, because as far as we're concerned, prior to Cade watching the video, Chris has never actually had sex with Stacey. He's never raped her or anything like that.
From what we've known.
Just physically abused her and made her jack him off and things like that. But he's never penetrated her as far as we knew. As far as Stacey knows, that has never happened. And we find out from that video that Chris has in fact done that. And he did it that night, and she was already so zoned out by the time he did it, she doesn't remember it. She only remembers bits and pieces, and Chris is not one of the bits or pieces she remembers. And that is so, like, she doesn't know. Like, she still goes around after that thinking that it's never happened. And we find out later that it wasn't the first or last time he does it. When she's, like, really knocked out, he'll put things in her drink to make sure when she falls asleep, she stays asleep. And so he's done this, like, all the time. And the one thing that's kept her going is the fact that she thinks it's never happened.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so... It's made the heebie-jeebies. Makes me want to vomit. It's so gross. And then, Cade obviously just found all this out, so he's, like, calling her. And he doesn't know that at this moment in time, Stacey has already, like, left with Barry. They're already gone. And that's why she didn't pick up the phone. Like and that's why she didn't pick up the phone, and it's like, oh, why couldn't he try to escape? One day before. What? No, she'll never hear the voicemail. I mean, probably good. It probably would have sucked to hear that as being the actual person that voicemail was meant for. It sucked knowing that it wasn't meant for me.
He does end up telling her these things because in restitution, he says, did you listen to my voicemail? She goes, I didn't get a voicemail.
No, but of course it's not the exact same as having to hear him basically dying and saying these things to you.
Yeah.
Him being in front of you is different than listening to this voicemail and not knowing where he is, because after that, he was in a coma for 2 months and then he's kidnapped by Bernadette and stuck with her for this foreseeable future, so you're kind of like, if she had heard that voicemail, oh god, like, that would not... No. But anyway, so then it's like the whole, like, time jump thing happens, and you, like, get some relief for about a second, and everything's fun, and we're seeing around Tobias, and like, Tobias is with Eva, and everything's fun and jolly and happy, and then
he switched to Cade's POV, and he's stuck there with fucking Base.
No! We haven't even got to Cade's POV at this point yet. It gets bad before we even do that, because... she, like, goes to see Tobias, whatever. She goes home after seeing Tobias and is cleaning around the house because Barry, his wife, and their daughter went out for dinner, and she's cleaning the house, and she walks into the living room, and Chris is standing there, and she's like, holy shit, and she's panicking, and she thinks Barry's guards are outside here to save her, and Chris is like, I'm not even the bad guy here right now. Like,
I'm trying to save you. They've killed them. We gotta go.
So she's obviously who's the greater monster here, right? And he's, like, he grabs her and shoves her, and they hide under these floorboards or whatever. And it's like this whole thing, and now she's stuck with Chris because Chris is better than what's up there. And it's like, holy shit. And so Bernadette and all of them are there, whatever. Well, then you switch to Cade's POV. You don't know where Chris and Stacey have gone. You just know Bernadette and them assume she's running through the woods somewhere and know that she's with Chris. And they want Chris dead, and Bernadette wants her alive, but she can have been used prior to. So gross. Anyway, and then you switch to
Hate
Cade,
her
and
so
Cade is
much.
with Base, and you find out first of all you find out about Cade's scar. He now has a scar that goes
I
from
know.
here all the way down to his heart, and he hates it. Honestly, I've seen edits with him with it.
He
It's
looks
hot,
hot.
Cade. You're fine.
You're fine.
But some asshole woman in Russia who also beat her 5-year-old child, told him it was ugly and that he was scaring her child. So he killed her in the dead of night and then found out that she was abusing her son. So he was like, well, I saved that kid. So
Yeah.
I may have done it out of rage, but it helped somebody. I
Turns
mean, so,
out that she was beating her son, so it ended up being for the best. But like,
yeah.
didn't know it
But I
at the
did kill
time
her because she just
that I was
mentioned my son.
ugly.
And then he
Wicked
wears this like
bitch.
baklava that like covers up to here all
You
the
almost
time.
said balaclava. Oh no, you did.
I
You
did.
said
Balaclava. And that's happened ever since I read
balaclava.
Lights Out.
No, me too. I get them confused in my
And
head.
I'm like looking at this, so it's like not
Because
helping.
like you were like, which one's right? Okay, baklava. No. And I was like, and then in my head, I'm like, no, you almost said balaclava. And then it fucks me up still.
It does every time. But anyway, so like he wears that thing. And it switches to him and he's going on a mission with Base. And they don't know who they're killing. They just know that they're going after a husband, a wife, their 10-month-old baby, and their live-in babysitter. Oh, well, Kate and Base. That's actually Stacey and Barry and Barry's wife Lisa and their daughter Eva. And oh yeah, Bernadette's already been there. You're in the second round, so you're just lucky that nobody was home.
Honestly, she was probably fucking hoping they'd walk in, that Kate would walk in and see them all dead.
I think that's why she did the first sweep though, because she wanted Stacey out of there. She wanted him to panic about Stacey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so they go in, whatever, and they're just normally doing this. Cade isn't planning on killing anybody. He wants to get them out. And they go downstairs. And there's blood all over this house. There's glass everywhere. And he doesn't know that Stacey's gotten away. Although he would not be happy to know how she got away. But he doesn't know she's gotten away. And he doesn't know it's Stacey yet, though. And he doesn't know that Barry and them are alive. Because so far they've been told that they're just looking for the babysitter, which would make him think that Barry and the wife and their daughter are dead.
Yes. That they've been taken care of.
Yes.
Is what he knows.
Yeah. So he's like, okay, what the fuck? So they go down to this room and him and Base are checking out this room in the basement. And Kate's like walking around the bathroom, whatever. All of a sudden, Base walks up to him and he's taken off his helmet and his earpiece and he holds up the picture frame. And it's Kate and Stacey in the picture. And he's like, why would Stacey's picture be here? Like, why is your photo here? And Cage just automatically starts panicking. He runs upstairs. He goes to the living room, finds a picture of Barry and Lisa and Eva, goes upstairs to the baby's room, which is covered in blood. It looks like a massacre. There's photos of Stacey and Eva. There's photos of Barry, Lisa, and Eva. And he's just like, holy shit, holy shit. So he sends in a thing. He's like, does anyone know, is there actual confirmation that the family's been killed? And they're like, no, all we know is that we're supposed to be looking for the babysitter. And so he's not sure if Barry and them are alive. He does not know. But he does know that Stacey is, and she's on the run. So he grabs Base and they get in a car and they leave. And Base is like, what are we doing? Like, we can't go. Like, this is not going to be good for us because I don't give two fucks. Like, we're getting Stacey.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, they're looking in the wrong place. Because Chris has taken her back over the pond, and they're camping out in some weird cabin he has with security cameras everywhere and everything.
Yeah, it's like his family's lodge.
And it's this whole thing. And he's like, just, you know, he's weird. Okay, he thinks he's protecting her. Well, then she's like, okay, well, I want to.
But he doesn't. He has not hurt her, really.
Yeah, there's been a little bit, but like nothing like that.
No, because Stacey said the only way I will go with you is if you don't hurt me, and I'll stay with you if you don't hurt me. And he obviously wants her to stay because she's like, I might as well give myself up to fucking Bernadette if you're gonna beat me and rape me every day.
Yeah.
So he doesn't. He he's like picks like that.
He picks her staying over doing that, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyway, it gets to the point where they call Kyle. And now Kyle is involved. And Kyle's like, what the fuck is going on? Because Kyle is her brother. They got a hold of Kyle because Kyle was... Stacey calls Kyle or something.
Stacey steals his phone while he's asleep and calls Kyle. And so I'm at the lodge.
Anyway, so Kyle shows up. Well, now they end up having this like plan, and they need to go to this like auction, like this like slavery auction. Because Bernadette's gonna be there. They're trying to save Kate and Bass. They assume they'll be there.
So yeah, basically what it was is that Chris hacked into all of Bernadette's files, kept some of it. That's how he was able to find her. That's how he knew they were going.
Yeah. And that's why Bernadette wants him dead.
Yeah, Bernadette wants her ship back. But only Stacey can give it to her. And only Stacey can come. You can't come.
Yeah. So they're gonna send Stacey in, but they're gonna listen from the car, and they're gonna make sure everything's fine.
The fuck is listening going to do, you idiot?
Earpiece? No. Chris gives her an earpiece and a code word, which was, of course, disgustingly, Stacey Fields. Now, Chris's last name is Fields, Stacey's is Rhodes, so he obviously wants her last name to be Fields, so the only way she can get help is unfortunately saying the thing he's wanted to hear forever, which is her name and his name. Stacey Fields.
Whatever.
And I hate to say it kind of sounds good, but still, gross.
At that fucking point, whatever. Get the fuck away from this man if you have to say you have his last name for a code word.
Yeah. Just do it. You know, just think of Kyle when you say it. Just think, oh, me and my brother have the same last name. Just think that. Yeah. But anyway, so you're like, okay, you know what? Kyle's with Chris, so he can't flee the scene this time. He can't just leave her there again.
Oh, but you know what was really sad before this? How Chris got into their cameras and she was watching Cade with Cassie, saw what Bernadette was doing to Bass.
Yeah.
And all of that was really
was fucked. This whole book is hard. If we talked about every hard part in this book, though, we'd be reading word for word what happens. Like, literally would be. Although, I love you guys so much. This is also them sitting here. And Tobias is watching over them, obviously. But this is a skull because a lot of people don't make it. Anyway, so, she gets there, right? Luciella walks in, and you're like,
for fuck's sake.
I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I cannot do this. And she's like, Luciella, why are you here? And she goes, Bass told me to meet him here.
And I'm like, no, he fucking didn't. No, Bass never.
Bass will be here. But that is not.
But at this point, Stacey doesn't know that Bass is also taken. Nobody knows that Bass is also taken.
Yeah. So it's like, but I thought she did because of the video.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Stacey's
the only one who knows, though, because she hasn't been in contact with anyone. Yes.
Prior to, like, Arya doesn't know. Like,
and even that, no one besides her and Tobias know that Cade was taken. They just think Cade's, like, doing some project for school. Because Cade would kill them if he knew that they
told everyone. What fucking project for school makes you not fucking talk to your family for a year?
Why do you have to go to Russia?
Seriously.
At least for Bass, it was like, oh, I'm, like, with my family, and they're, like, making me do these things. But also, like, is Bass's family, you know, the mafia, not concerned at all?
That was one thing about this book, and I was like, Arya just thinks her son's in university for the last year and a half, didn't come home for Christmas, his birthday, her birthday, nothing.
Like, okay.
No phone call, no text message, nothing.
I mean, but Cade's always been alone. No, because no phone calls, but Bernadette will send messages every once in a while to make sure that people aren't, you know.
Okay, Luciella's gotten 2 from Bass in 10 months.
Yeah, which is suspicious. Very suspicious.
Like,
but anyway.
Right? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, honestly, she got lucky that Bass and Luciella had just had a fight before she kidnapped Bass. Yeah. Because if that hadn't have happened, then Luciella definitely would have known something was wrong. Because right now she just thinks Bass is upset with her. But anyway,
for 10
so
months.
It's like, well,
that was the one thing where I was like,
she did say, well, Luciella told her to leave him alone. Said, leave me alone. Like, and he's like, if you're serious, like, tell me to stop, and I will. And she said, stop. On Halloween. And then he just happened to go missing the next day, so there was no way to prove that he's not listening to what she told him to do. Because we all know that if Bass wasn't kidnapped the next day, he would not have listened to what Luciella said. He would have said, she was drunk last night. She doesn't mean it. And that's what he would have done. But anyway, so now they're there, and she knows Luciella's there, and she needs Luciella out. But Luciella's not listening. Just honestly, moral of the story is, because I cannot physically do this to myself, the fact that they're then taken
and sold. But after watching Base and Cade
also be sold, and now Luciella's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what the fuck is going on? And now they've been sold, and she's just saying Stacey Fields, Stacey Fields, Stacey Fields, Stacey Fields, Stacey Fields, and the book ends. Like, she's just saying it over and over again, and you know Chris isn't responding. And it's like, the motherfucker ran again! Like, where did he go? Where does he go? Every time.
I don't know.
He just disappears.
Oh, it's a brat. He's skirting away.
But it was his plan this time. It was his plan.
But prior to this, prior to them going and getting sold and going to this party, I'm surprised you didn't bring this up. Tobias Mitchell escapes from his mental institution.
Now, why would Tobias do such a thing? Oh, maybe
because Stacey missed movie night, and Stacey never misses movie night, and he got bored.
He automatically knew something must not be right because Stacey missed movie night, and he's like, well, if she's not here to stop me, then... Because she's the only reason he hasn't broken out at this point. Because she's always telling him, Arya won't forgive you. You can't do this to your family. You have to stay here. And he goes,
we'll figure it out.
I'm bored.
Me and Barry will get Cade. You have to stay here.
And that was fine when she was in contact with him every day. And even though he saw her that morning, he went, no, she said she'd be back with popcorn and chocolate. And she isn't here.
No, he didn't see her that morning. She said she wasn't going to come for the morning one. She was having a hair appointment.
No, that was for the next morning. But she said, I'll see you tonight, though, for a movie night. Yeah, she was going back for movie night that night. Yes. Yeah. But anyway, and so he's like, no, she said she'd be back with popcorn and chocolate. She would have told me she wasn't coming. Why isn't she coming to our movie night? Where is she? And he's like, that's it. I'm doing it. I'm breaking out. And the funniest part is that he had told Stacey that he knew how to get out, and she told him, oh yeah, Tobias, how would you do it? How would you get out and get to Russia? And he goes, and she goes, see, you don't have a plan. Lo and behold, that night, he gets out and he gets to Scotland.
Of course he does.
No, I don't think he got to Scotland that because
no, not that night, but you know what I mean. Like, in essence, he does do it.
He goes to Barry's house, finds Barry, gets in contact with Barry, gets to fucking Scotland.
Yeah.
Now Tobias Mitchell is free. Chris is freaking out that he's free. Bernadette and Archie are freaking out that he's free.
Freaking out.
Kate is probably fucking cackling, going, it's going to fucking happen.
Kate didn't know yet, though.
No, they watched it on the news.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. The one scary thing is the only thing that was left was Tobias over and over and over again wrote, save them, save him, save her, save them, save him, save her, save them, save him, save her. I listened to the audiobook. It's 30 seconds long of it.
And you know what that reminds me of? That's like him in his head back in Psychotic Obsession. And you know what that letter probably was? That was probably him trying to convince himself not to go. And he's like, maybe if I just write it out, it will stop me from doing it. Like Cade's rules that he had him do. He's probably like, if I write it out, it will stop me. If I write it out, it will stop me.
Yeah. Save them. Save
eventually,
her, save him. Save her. Save them. It's so long. I have to show you.
I guarantee you that he wrote that and eventually just went like this. This was Tobias, guys. Okay, ready? Save them. Save her. Save them. Right? Oh, fuck it. I'm going to Scotland!
Oh, for sure.
That was totally Tobias. For sure. The dramatic effect and all. He totally went, I'm going! It's like the Grinch. That's it! I'm not going, except for him it is, that's it! I'm going. You know? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that's all I'm gonna see. Also, why does Tobias have
Look
to be
how
so
long
hot?
it is. It's the end of this chapter.
Yeah. That's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
symptoms. Tobias.
Dad might not have his meds. Yeah. Then a picture of a piece of paper with words written on it replaced the images of my dad. Save him, save her, save them, save him, save her, save them. That's terrifying.
You know how scary that must be for Bernadette, though?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because you know who they're saving from, and for Chris, you know who he's saving and who from. It's you, and you're going down.
And they were scared.
He is now
Bernadette was
escaped
losing
mental
it.
prison.
No, 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 no. This isn't happening.
This is what Archie warned her about in the beginning, and then he decided to go away from his plan and be like, you know what, it's fine, let's do it. You guys knew this was going to happen eventually, and you just had to push the line by going for Stacey. That's what happened. They went for Stacey, and he snapped, and that was it. They did not expect that, I guarantee you. Mm-mm. If they tracked her long enough, they should have realized how often she was going to see him, and they should have maybe thought about that a little harder.
Yeah, but they're stupid.
So stupid.
You've already said this. They're fucking dumb.
She's head of the police in Scotland.
Like,
how dumb do you have to be for him to be able to get into your country, you idiot?
Because she's not doing her goddamn job. She's too busy running fucking
freaking out. Yeah, and freaking out because now Tobias Mitchell is coming for her. Although if she had to shut the borders down, he just would have swam over from Ireland.
They were in Russia. I don't know how the police of fucking Scotland has this much vacation time. She can go to Russia. She can go to the States. She can go do this.
You ain't doing her job.
Ma'am, she should be fired just blatantly for not doing her job.
Yeah. Doing quite the opposite of her job, actually.
Yeah. But, like...
All I know is that I felt...
10 vacation weeks? I don't understand.
All I know is I felt so much better watching them all panic.
Oh my god.
So much better watching them all panic.
I think honestly,
like shaking your boots, baby. Shaking your boots. Tobias Mitchell is coming.
Mm-hmm.
And if he doesn't have his meds, you're all fucked.
Mm-hmm.
You're all fucked. Although I do feel bad for Arya because I'm thinking about her and she's not aware of everything going on. And so all she knows is that he's
poor
escaped.
Arya.
And she's like, who is he saving? Oh no. And she probably for a second is probably worried she's talking about her, like herself. Like, oh no, he's completely lost it again.
Yes.
Like, it's probably where her mind is. So it's like, I feel so bad for her.
Barry needed to send her a text, be like, not you. You're fine.
Although,
but yeah.
Your son has been kidnapped, and now your daughter, and Stacey's missing again, and, well, we just heard that she was also kidnapped, so she didn't show up for movie night, and that's why Tobias broke out of the prison.
It never ends.
But also, can I just say before we end this episode that Tobias and Barry's relationship is one of the best things ever. Like, Barry's daughter may love Tobias, but Tobias and Barry do not like each other at all. It's so funny. It's so funny.
You see more of it in
later
Restitution.
On. But I love that we're getting there.
These two bicker like an old couple. When I fucking call you, you pick up the phone. Sorry, I'm dealing with fucking trying to break you out of this secure compound. Like, I didn't answer on the first ring. Relax, Tobias. Well, I needed you to answer. Okay.
They're the best.
Calm down, crazy.
I just know, though, that Barry is sometimes wishing, why did I help you get out of the country?
No.
Why?
No. Honestly, as loyal as Barry is, I think, honestly, he questions, why did I ever agree to help Cade?
Probably.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a hard fucking job.
Is it just me, or did you picture Barry as, like, a 50-year-old man?
No, but I also pictured him, like, as, like, a 30-year-old and being more like Jason's age. I forgot that he was Cade's
25.
age. Yeah.
Yeah, no. I pictured him, like, 30, 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're doing this all at my age, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. No thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. Could you imagine if tomorrow all of a sudden we were... No. No. Although
So,
I would love to know Tobias, but other than
bye,
that, I don't want to be
guys.
involved. No.
Tobias Mitchell, I'll deal with the crazy.
Yeah, I would actually, but it's fine.
Did you guys have favorite parts of this book?
How can you? My favorite part is
Tobias and Stacey.
Tobias and Stacey. That's my favorite part. Anything
Yeah,
Tobias and
I
Stacey
agree.
related. There's nothing else that I can honestly say doesn't make me want to sob. I love this book. Do not get me wrong. I love this book so much. However, I can't go to you and be like, oh, my favorite part is when Cade said, Daddy's gone, princess. Like, sorry, he's never coming back. Like, I can't say that's my favorite part.
My favorite
part
would
be like,
is
no.
We also saw this in the first one, but not as much because it was a lot more sad. I love how much of a bitch Stacey is.
Mm-hmm.
Like to Barry, your wife likes me better. Shut up. Like, do you know what I mean?
She says that.
Which we did see in the flashbacks of her.
Yes.
When she was younger. Yeah.
Yes, but not as frequent and not now and everything like that.
Yeah.
She is very shut the fuck up. She's not compliant. She's not Tyler would never.
Mm-hmm.
Lucy Ellett for sure. Look at her dad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But Stacey is a bitch and I fucking love her for it. Mm-hmm. Speak your mind. Tell Tobias Mitchell to shut the fuck up. Yes.
Yeah.
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 So
she's a tough bitch.
What about you? Did you have a favorite part or you just got through it?
I definitely just got through it, but Tobias getting out
Eva?
and knowing shit was gonna go down. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing him and Eva together.
Oh, that was so cute.
And she's like, I just sit here for half our visit while he talks to her and tells her about all these books he's read.
Yes.
I'm not even
loved
here.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cute.
And
sweet.
Barry, when you leave my fucking house with my fucking daughter, let me know where you're going. She reads it, doesn't answer.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's or good. Her talking about when Lisa agreed for her to be able to take Eva to see Tobias, and he's like, what? Yeah.
Yeah, her and Lisa got along well.
Yeah. Lisa's so kind.
I love Lisa.
She's like, it's okay, Barry, you can be gone for 6 months.
Yeah, so chill.
As long as you're saving people and we're not dying over here, then...
She's like, oh, it's fine. I've been wanting a change of scenery anyways. You can move to the States. What? Really? Because scary men are trying to kill this woman you're protecting, and now you're bringing a kid into the world that's going to live with this girl that has an army of people trying to get at her. Okay, Lisa. I think she also might have a screw loose.
She has
to. She's married to Barry, and Barry's best friend is Cade. So, obviously, things aren't right up there. So, you know what? I hope we get to see an older Eva. I hope we get to see Eva older.
I think we will.
When we see,
I don't think Cade would raise his kids without Barry around.
No, I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
Maybe Eva and Jason's kid?
They'd be about this. Oh, Eva would be a year older. But that's fine. They'd be in the age range they could be together, yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, technically, Eva and Cade and Stacey's firstborn would be around. Close enough they could date. They'd be about 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen.
No, wait, no. I just did the math wrong because I just remembered how restitution actually ends, and I realized I just had to add 5 years.
Yeah. And don't they have a girl first?
No, they have their boy first. Their girl's their second born. They finally got their angel baby.
Yeah. Did they name her Daisy?
They named her Daisy.
I wouldn't want my dead older sister's name.
No, I don't think they were gonna ever name their older daughter that because Cade said it sounded like a fucking dog's name.
No, they agreed on Daisy.
Oh, did they?
Yep. They agreed on it in Voracious.
I don't remember.
How did I miss that? I don't remember them. I remember them talking about the baby names, but not them agreeing, because they were talking about the baby names and then they started having sex, and I don't remember them deciding on a baby name.
It was Stacey.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think
It's
she
okay.
liked
I have a
Daisy.
Cheryl in my family, but she was put up for adoption. So then my great grandparents had another girl after that, and they named her Cheryl Ann. So it's completely normal. It's a normal
Girl,
thing to
2.0,
do.
let's try this again, honey. Like, what?
Let's
We're
keep
to
this
keep
one.
this one.
Oh,
Her Cheryl Ann. It literally sounds like you're saying Cheryl Ann, like as
Cheryl
in the
Ann.
second.
Yeah.
At least they
Cheryl
didn't
and
name her
Cheryl.
Cheryl the second.
Cheryl
fucked up,
Jr.
guys.
That is fucked up.
Anyways, I think that's it for Voracious. Yeah, we will get happiness and restitution
Oh,
after
At
I
the
can't
end,
wait. I cannot wait.
85%.
more than
No,
85%.
no,
What are you talking about?
like 98%.
Yeah,
Like
more
we're
like the
talking
end of the
like
fucking book.
the last epilogue. We're happy.
Well, no, but like everybody's like at a good spot at like 95.
What are you talking about? No one's good until
Like
like the
there's
last two
4
epilogues.
epilogues.
Yeah, so like the last two were probably about like 2% of the book when you think about how long they are. So probably like 98% everything is fine. Maybe 96. Maybe. Maybe. But things are fucked for a long time. And trust me,
But
the
we
amount of time
get
you
my
have,
favorite line in this
the
whole
amount of time, yeah,
series.
we'll talk about it next time. But I am going to say one thing. The amount of time you have between the end of the book and then the epilogues is about 10 seconds when you're actually reading it, whereas they had years. So no, you will not be over the things that happened when you finish this book.
That is it for Voracious. I am glad we are on to restitution because at least some good things come of it. Some good things, not all.
Kind of.
Some good things happen.
Really sad things happen, but stay tuned.
Yep, sad things happen, but good things also happen. So that's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see you next week for the conclusion of Edge of Darkness. And then we get to go on to the Itsy Bitsy Spider. No, it's in book 2, but still.
We're getting
It's
there.
Itsy Spiders in book 1. It's in part 2 of book 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
Bye,
Bye, guys. That was so perfect.
Really? For me, it sounds like I said it way before you.
No,
I don't get it.
You're good.
we're good.